for the critics, my words are like physics, a force that they can't stop. They just don't get it, I think they forget I'm not done till I'm on top. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I believe we can write our story.
All right, everybody, how you doing out there? Hope everyone is doing outstanding. Everybody listening to the sound of my voice, watching us on YouTube. Hey, shout out to the listeners in Brazil. Like, it's freaking amazing that we're doing so good down there. I got an email from somebody down there telling me that they're loving the show and they're listening to the content. That was amazing. And I'm very happy to hear that the word is getting out there about the show. Today, we've got a very exciting guest on board with me today. He was one of my first guests on the podcast when it first dropped. He goes by the name of Ronnie Netter. I'll just go ahead and bring him on. We'll get this thing going. What's up, Ronnie? How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, we need a round of applause, a little sound effect going on, big dog. The man is here, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, it's really good to see you, Gary. Thank you for having me on your platform, brother.
Hey, it's good to see you, man. I appreciate you coming back. You know, you were literally one of my first guests, right? Like, if you go back to the beginning of the podcast, you were one of the very first guests on the podcast. Ronnie, can you hear me?
I think that right now yeah, I can hear you a little bit. I think right now I don't know I've got on my laptop this time because the first time you got on to me, so I got my laptop to make sure that I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Are you in the Wi-Fi on the barracks room? Oh, hold on.
Okay. Is this Can you can I get off the other one?
Yeah, get off the other one. Use that one.
Okay. All right, I think we rocking right now. All right.
Rocking right there. There you go.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's
Hey,
much
look,
better,
man.
man.
Yeah. No, so what I was saying was I think it should be like a round of applause for you, boy. I got my camera going. You know what I'm saying? I got better Wi-Fi a little bit, but you know, a little bit. But I mean, I'm very grateful to be on here with you, and I appreciate the time you're giving me in order to, you know, increase my knowledge and the wisdom that you've always given me, just having your door open. So thank you, bro.
Always, man. I remember the last time you came on the show was literally a random text message. I forget which one of us started it, right? And it was
Yep.
like, let's jump on a call. And
Yep.
away we went, man. And we got to it. And I love that episode because again, it was the very beginning. And I'm super excited to kind of see where this conversation takes us today. Right. You reached out to me last week because you were interested in some life after the service is kind of what I was gathering,
Yes,
or
sir.
even just moving forward in life. And so, brother, let's go ahead and I'll pitch the ball to you and let's see where we go.
Okay, so basically what I was messaging you about, you know, I've been thinking about my calling and basically trying to see, you know, I'm 42. I know what I'm good at and I know what has made me successful and what has God blessed me with. And it's what I've noticed is over the years, I've been having a lot of people come to me freely and ask me for advice and ask me for, you know, just, I mean, it comes with the senior chief rank. You know, people, when you're a senior chief, people are going to just come to you naturally and be like, hey, what does it mean to be successful to you? What does it mean to that? And then I started thinking, I was like, well, I'm kind of good at this. Like I have good advice. I've been through a lot. I've experienced a lot, and we've all have in the service. So I've been thinking about, and I really love doing it. I really love sitting down with people, coaching them through things, uh, walking them through their career. In fact, I work in Great Lakes still. I'm still the quartermaster A school lead at that school, and I'm able to help some of these students that didn't have motivators in their life or people that cared about them in their life, and help them reach their goals of passing a session level school. Um, I've had a sailor that I coached into helping him save $5,000 within the time that frame that it was there. You know, that was his goal. Senior, I want to save 5,000. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's see where your money's allocated to. Let's see let's work this out. And I was able to help him out. You know, just certain service members I've been supporting, along with other senior chiefs and other master chiefs that have been coming to me and being like, hey, brother, I need your advice on something. So
Mhm.
I've been looking to, as I get out, when I get out and transition, I've been looking at it, start working in that field, coaching, mentoring, dealing with those type of things. Some that you're kind of doing, and that you're putting out to the rest of the people. But I want to know, if you have any advice on the process of that, certifications, things I can work towards to build my leadership and ensure that I am heading in the right direction. So that was what I was reaching out to you for. I wanted to know if you had any advice or had anything you could help me to set my path correctly. I mean, I came to the man. You're one of my favorite CMCs. You're one of my favorite people because you're just a genuine dude. And I don't talk to any of the CMCs like that. I talk to you, big dog. So I just want to. So
I appreciate that.
I want to know how how I can move and transition into that type of program.
Okay. Um, I will tell you that ultimately, okay, straight up and down, it's sales, right? That's just what it is. And truth be told, for me, that was one of my least favorite parts of it, right? Because I understand that we're always selling. I
Right.
understand that we're always convincing people to want to do business with us. And when we come from the military, especially from the Chiefs mess in the United States Navy, we give so much of ourselves freely,
Oh my
especially when it
goodness.
comes to mentorship and when it
Right.
comes to pouring into other people, that it is almost conflicting when you think about asking for money for your time, right? Because that's the other thing, right? You're essentially offering your time, and what's the value to this person? And I will tell you, there's a lot of conversation out there in the marketplace, and there is a lot of dispute as to what time is valued at, and all those things. And then I will tell you, my opinions are I will tell you, they're going to be mine, right? Because you're going to have
Right.
other people that are different than me. A couple of things for me is, number one, I didn't like the making it my primary source of income,
Right.
because
Right.
I got people that depend upon me, and so I've got to guarantee the dollars and the cents match up to pay the bills, right? So I had to do something for a 9 to 5
Hmm.
that was going to make sure my family was taken care of, right? And what's interesting is, when I retired from the Navy, I did not plan on getting into this space right here. I did not. I really did not. I still plan on entering in the real estate investor arena. I
Really?
still plan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anchor Legacy Holdings is what it's going to be called, bro. Don't steal my name,
Oh, you
right?
own it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because I'm thinking about my grandkids, right? Like, I'm
Right.
thinking about, I don't want to just use the term generational wealth, but the reality is, I've put a lot of investment into my family, my wife, my sons, and I want to do something to ensure it's going to be bigger than just us. And a
Right.
piece of that is going to be investing in my local community in the real estate space, right? But that's also a downrange plan. But for my transition, my priority was a guaranteed job that could ensure my family was taken care of with the quality of life that I wanted to have, right? Like
Which
that.
I'm gonna stop you right there if you're okay with that. I
Sure.
want to
Yeah.
stop you right. So even with that, I want to be an instructor. Like I want
Mhm.
to work for the government for a little bit. I want to do still instruct and still move, because I think teaching is where I belong. But when I speak about calling, it's something I'm really passionate about doing, and I think it would be a good off time gig because it's that itch that I can. Well, I don't want to say itch. It's just the calling that I can
Mhm.
actually be led into to support my community, support other folks, and still um, get still create a legacy of leadership and love to the community with a little
I
bit of
agree.
side income.
I agree. I agree. And so once I locked down the occupation that was going to ensure my family was covered, then I started gravitating into I got into this space for working with leadership training and or certification. And what I recognized was that it's a very saturated marketplace with a bunch of people who are kind of selling snake oil, right? Like what
Okay.
that means is there's a variety of ways to do it. And what I needed to do was figure out ways to show my local community, to show the corporate people in my community what I have to offer and what value I'm bringing to the table. And oh, by the way, because one of the first offers I was given was like, quit your day job and come over here full time. Well, I'm not going to do that, right?
Right. Was
Because
that in
I,
like same thing that you were trying to be, like what I'm talking about right now? They were trying.
it really was. It really was. It was come to do corporate leadership development full time, right? But that's not what I want to do full time, right? Like this is I don't want to go work for somebody else full time like that, like a job, right?
Okay.
I I love what I do with with the high school kids
Hmm.
because I got so much freedom there, and I it fills my cup tremendously, and it keeps me razor sharp, right? Like it keeps my mind going, it keeps my game up because I'm still mentoring and guiding, but these are just young adults, right? These are adolescents, but it keeps me sharp, and as they find success, I'm showing that not only can I find success in the military, but now I'm finding success post military with these high school kids, right? And that's because I wanted to be able to show that I could continue to be successful when it comes to developing people, not just in the military mindset.
Okay.
Now, these high school kids are also in a paramilitary organization called JROTC, but
Yeah.
they're also a public school, right? And so there's a little bit of flavor there. Then when I turned down the whole quit ROTC to go right into the corporate thing, I recognized that I didn't like going to all these networking events and trying to market myself to these corporate people that would want a lot more of my time than I was willing to give because
Got
I'm
it.
already working 40 hours a week, way more than that actually. So it needs to be a lot of stuff on my timeline, right? That's how I got into this space of doing things via YouTube and via virtual because that meets my timeline. I can come home and I can meet with people on time that works for me. I can My kids are in the other room right now. Just had dinner with the family. I could pop in here with you, turn on the camera and just get to talking, right? And when we
Right.
wrap it up, I'm already home. I don't got to commute nowhere. I don't got to drive nowhere. And because I'm playing long game, right? Because I'm playing long game right now, I'm laying the foundation of content that's going to be able to stand up for me when people look into me, right? So I
Right.
got a phone call from a boy this weekend, right? My boy calls me up, and he was a DC man back in the day with me,
Hmm.
right? We were together on our first ship, the Bellawood out of Sasebo,
Let's
and
go,
he went
Sasebo.
Sasa Vegas, baby. What up?
Let's go.
Represent the Devil Dogs, man. And and so he went blue to green. So he went from DC 2 to United States Army. And then he ranked up in the army, eventually did a couple tours in Iraq, went Rangers, eventually went Special Forces, eventually retires from the army as a special force guy, does a couple years of contracting for different three-letter organizations or whatever he did. And
Hmm.
then he got sick of leaving his family all the time, bought himself a business, and is now an entrepreneur cleaning freaking deep fat fryer stuff overheads like we did in the Navy as DC, right? Because that's part of our job as damage controlman was to make sure the
Right.
kitchen didn't have a grease fire, right?
Right.
So he's cleaning up these overhead things, and he's doing very well. He's killing the game, right? And he just came back from his corporate function, and he calls me up, and he's like, "Gary, bro, tell me you're speaking at corporate functions." And I was like, "Yeah, dog, I speak at corporate functions because I do. It's just like being a CMC when they ask you, can you speak to a movie theater full of sailors? It's
Right.
nothing.
No,
Get up
yeah.
there and talk your ish, right?" And down here in Ocala, I'm connected with the Chamber of Commerce. I work with local businesses. They want to hear how I'm finding success in my career and how can they leverage that success for their people. Again,
Okay.
just making myself easy to find for people that are looking for me, providing value to them to hopefully build relationships. And then in the future, we'll see where it goes. Right. So my boy calls me up, and he's been on my podcast too. Right. He's been on the
Mhm.
show as well. And he's like, "Dog, they had this guy there that was like talking to all of these overweight, middle-aged, regular people
Mhm.
about elite athletes." And he was just like, I'm sitting in the crowd looking around like, bruh, this is not applicable to your audience, right? You talking about elite professional, like college or NBA players. And he's like, honestly, I would have rather had you on the stage talking about the things that you talk about, because that's what he said. He gives me credit for part of his training, even back when we were DC3s on the Bellawood, right? And he's like, I went and talked to them about you. And I was like, I got a guy that'd be way better than this guy. And you see what I'm saying? And so he was like, I want to know, if I line this gig up for you, would you do it? And I
Right.
was just like, bro, I do it off the strength of me being your partner.
Right.
Because ultimately, the more you get out into the world and you make it easier to find you for the people that are looking for you, the better the law of attraction will have the opportunity to place you into the things you're looking for, right?
And
And
you know
so,
me, I'm like, I'm out there, but I don't go to the community joints. I didn't do a lot
Mhm.
of the, like that's not me because I don't feel comfortable. When I'm in it, I'm cool. I can do it,
Yeah,
but smoozing is not my
I got it. I'm the same way, bro. I've never been no look. I go into the. I've been like, I love my favorite line. Was that Jay-Z line where he talked about moving in a room full of vultures, right? Because I've always
right,
felt that way. I always felt like I was moving in a room full of vultures, and I didn't. Oh, and that, of course, unfortunately, that was my military mind, because I can't remember the last time, Ronnie, that I went to a Christmas party where somebody didn't come talk to me because they had an agenda about something,
right.
right? There was never just an authentic conversation, except maybe me and the CO, me and the XO. Very rarely was it just a chill conversation for no reason. Typically,
Right.
because people just didn't like me like that, in my opinion, right?
I
They didn't
mean,
want to they didn't. I kept it too real, right? I kept it too real. And I'm okay with that. Like, one of my visions is, as I generate this team, as I build this thing that I'm gonna build, I want to be able to have a Christmas party in Ocala, Florida, with all the people that are messing with me, and no one's worried about what somebody else is getting. Right?
right.
Everyone's comfortable with what they're getting in their life, and nobody's hating, nobody's worried about, well, how come they got this position or that position or this amount of
So you're
right.
saying it never felt genuine to you whenever
It,
you were
it
in
really
those
didn't,
type of
man.
situations. That's why.
And it felt like mandatory fun, right? Like you had to
Right.
go, right? Because truth be told, bro, before I became a CMC, I wasn't going to no command holiday parties.
You ain't never
I
lied,
wasn't
but
going to no Navy balls, bro. I was a snipe, right? I was a DC man, dude. Like, I'm on the ship working, bro. Like, when I started going to those events, it was either because I was trying to get connected, or it was because and trying to learn the game, or I was now in the community that I felt like I had to go because it was part of the job,
yo,
right?
Gary, I just launched my first Navy ball for 2025 for Great Lakes. I was the
Yeah,
coordinator for that. Bro, I was in there for 10 minutes, just enough to hear the speech, the prayer, the food served. bam, I was out of there. And I'm the one that ran it. So
That's
like I get you. If anybody gets you, I get you, bro.
I remember telling my CO when I was on Naval Base Guam, I was like, and no one ever told me when I became a command master chief that I signed up to be a party planner extraordinaire, right? Like because here's the thing, like I'm a war fighter, right? I
Mhm.
like to be on the ship. I like to be on the ship, making sure the 3M is the maintenance is done, making sure
Right.
the training is done, doing the things that we do. But for morale, some of those things are value added, right? Just because it wasn't my cup of tea. Because when I was a young sailor, I didn't feel like I wanted to go drinking around the upper leadership, right? Like
Right.
when I was a young sailor, if I walked up into the bar out in Pattaya Beach or whatever it was, and I saw the chief's messman, that
Man, I'm
joker,
out. I'm the
I'm
other
about
way.
face. I'm gone.
Yeah.
They don't need to
What?
know much about me, bro. Like they don't need. And as I got, and so I just never really uh felt comfortable in those environments. Now I understand that communicating with people professionally is part of the gig, right? Like you've
Right.
got to get your name out there. But
Yeah.
for me, I started going to these events, and look, nothing against the events. Now I only go if I'm speaking.
Okay. I mean,
That's my
that's
that's
your
my
thing.
personal thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm busy, bro. I'm working. I got a day job, right? Like I am not somebody that only does my leadership development business. So
Right.
if you want my time is at a premium because I'm already committed to my community by leading and developing over 150 youth in a public high school
That's
setting,
dope.
leveraging my experience. So that makes my time even more valuable,
Right.
right? That makes my time even more valuable. Last year, I put together a leadership development public speaking event in my community, right? Because I did that when I was on active duty multiple times and we lost Ronnie. Where is Ronnie? There you go. All right. Ronnie's back. So I put together a public leadership speaking event because I recognized a need for it in my community, right? Cool, dope. And I did that when I was in the military quite often, actually. And I learned from my Navy ball experience that I don't need to pay anybody to come speak because I got local people that can say the words, right? Or I can get up there and I can freestyle better than most people I could hire to bring out, right? So then, right? Can you hear me
Can
still?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah.
me real quick?
Yes. Can you hear me?
You're. It's hard to hear you in mine real quick. I apologize.
No worries.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry to mess
It's
up like
okay.
that, but I don't know what's I don't know why the volume stopped working on me.
It's okay. Can you hear me now? Okay, so I was telling you, uh, last year I put together a public leadership development event, right, in
Hmm.
Ocala, because I did this when I was in the military, and I wanted to see was there going to be viability, was there going to
Right.
be an appetite for it, right? Proof of
Right.
concept,
Right.
and my very first live event, not for nothing, I sold 10 tickets, right? I sold 10 tickets and I put together a stage of speakers, like 5 different speakers, right? All that
Okay.
I had connected with throughout my time here in Ocala.
Mhm.
Okay. And I did all the marketing, I did all the advertising, all these things, right? So then after I put together that live event, right? Some other people in Ocala who had deep pockets. I'm talking like they got bank, right?
Okay.
They put together a major leadership conference in Ocala. Like they brought high level speakers to come to Ocala. And one of their main people that was a part of their team was one of my speakers from my event, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know if this is true or not, but I kind of feel like my event might have inspired them to do their event. They're just ahead of me in life because
Right.
they got liquid cash,
Right.
right? Whereas
Buku.
I'm just beginning, just retired from the military, but they packed their house, they filled their venue. And so for me, it just showed me that the market is there, appetite is out, and people know who I am, right? People know who they got my name recognition, right? Like a dude called me up the other day and he called me up out of nowhere and said, "Hey man, I was at this networking event and someone said I need to get to know you." Right?
Wow.
So he left me that message. So I called him back. I'm on the road driving home with Hayden from school where I've been teaching all day. Right.
Hmm.
And the dude calls me up. He's like, "Hey man, I'd love to get together and talk." And I said, "Hey, bro, I would love to get with you and meet with you, but I'm not buying anything you're selling, just so you know. Like, that's not what I'm about." Right. Of course, I've not heard from him again because he probably was trying to connect with me and get me because I will tell you, entrepreneurs are looking to get into business with other people that are going to buy their thing, right?
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
That's my other problem with these networking events. We're all going to these events to sell each other on working with us, but that requires me to pay you to do something, right? Ultimately, I want to be available to the people that are looking to develop themselves personally, to want to work on their leadership abilities, and to analyze their organizational structure and to find out how they can improve their areas, right? And I primarily market less than 30 professionals and more than 30. I had two different strategies, right?
Okay.
But outside of that, I'm not looking to go buy other people's wares, right? I'm not looking to go, I don't have a bunch of money to go spend to people to, and I get you got to invest in things to make money to get money or whatever. So I'm not going to worry about those parts of things. I'm just going to generate content. I'm going to
Right.
continue to build my, I hate to say the word brand, but it's your
But that's
brand.
what it is. It's a
Right.
brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna get my word out, my name out there, get my recognition out there, and see where it goes. Now, I don't know if you heard at the beginning of the show where I give a shout out to Brazil, right?
Okay.
Brother, I got an email the other day. This dude was like, "Hey man, I don't know, you don't know me, but you're blowing up in Brazil." I was like, "What?"
Oh snap! Are you serious?
I'm not even lying, bro.
So you
I'm not
busted
even
out. You hit
lying.
it. Hey, Brazil. I'm Rio de Janeiro.
I'm
I'm
not
here.
even lying, bro. Like the dude emailed me and he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to reach Gary Wise, Words from the Wise podcast. I would like you to know you're like number 193 in Brazil for self-help and leadership podcast.
Wow.
And we're really appreciating your stuff down here." And I was like, "Thanks, man. Like,
That's
that's
dope.
amazing,
That's
right?"
dope, man.
And I'm getting downloads every week from God knows around the world, right? And so what I would say is I got a buddy of mine who's one of my mentors who has a podcast called Developing the Leader Within podcast. He's a retired senior chief. I was on
Okay.
his podcast, right? And he just crossed like 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's not
Nice.
making money off his YouTube channel because that's the thing, right? You can make money doing these videos.
Hmm.
And what's dope is because of our retirement, because of your ability to have a job that's already going to fill your cup by being an instructor or whatever it is, you're going to not probably be hurting so much for the money as other people, that you got the time to build your foundation and
Right.
build your structure and put yourself into a space that people are going to look for you. And another thing about you, you have an amazing voice, right? You got
God is
that Barry
good, man.
White
God has
voice.
blessed me.
God is you got that sexy voice, bro. You got that deep voice, right? You really do, Ron. And for people that listen to these shows,
Yeah.
I think they would love to hear your voice, right? And the other thing for you is just like me, you typically don't have a lack of things to say in your own
Mhm.
space, right? You've got a lot of thoughts, you've got a lot of ideas, and you've just got to be courageous enough to put yourself out there. And this is just my advice because I believe part of what we've got to do after in our life after the military is show people credible success. So they're going to want to continue to come pick your brain as to how they can find success after a major life transition, like leaving the military.
So I love that you said that. And what I've been doing, brother, is I've been talking to certain sailors and individuals that I've impacted. And I've been asking them to, like, I was gonna create a video collage of them speaking about the impact and the problem solvings that I've done to help them get through a lot of the things that they've been through, whether it's military, and they're a white woman, a black man, a Filipino woman, just all types of people that I know throughout. I was gonna create a collage of videos to to use that as my brand as well to see if
Yeah.
that works. Um, I do have a couple questions if you don't mind me chopping them up at you real quick.
No, go for it. Hit
All right, Gary.
send.
All right, so in your experience, right? So you've dealt with a bunch of high performing men, the chiefs mess, the officers, and stuff like that, right? And you operated. Um, how did with high performing men rely on motivation instead of building? How does what I'm asking is, how does high performing man rely on motivation instead of building systems of discipline? Like, what did you do to help them build the systems of discipline in their life? Like, how do you motivate them to do that?
Well, if you remember, and let's just talk about my Chiefs mess, right?
Sweet
Number
Lord.
one, number right. Let's just talk about my Chiefs messes, right? Because I would say those were the areas of direct influence that I had that would then influence an entire crew or command, right?
You're right. You're
And
correct.
thousands of people, right? Especially when it was combined Navy and Marine Corps team, and I was leveraging the senior enlisted Marines as well as the senior enlisted Navy. So number
Mhm.
one, I gave them an example, right? I
True.
stood on my business, right? If you know that, right? I stood on
All
my
the
business.
time.
Everything
All the
I
time.
talked
And you was
about, I was
consistent.
living that. Yep. So that was number one. I stood on my business. Like I didn't misrepresent anything about what I was bringing to the table, right? From the bulwark coveralls to the smoking Newport, whatever, right? Like I was that dude. Right? I mean, and ask anybody about me, they're all going to
Right.
say the same thing. Whether you love me or hated me on them deck plates, I was a freaking deck plate stomper, right? That was what I was about. So that was number one. I gave an example of what I expected from my people. So that was number one. I set that example. I led by that tone. Number two, I had standards that I expected they live up to, right? And I held them to those standards, and it was not always nice, right?
Not
Because
all,
I don't,
man. Come on, let me tell you. We didn't have some discussions in that Gary Leo Wise office, man. We
yeah,
didn't have some talks.
yeah, facts. Because in my opinion, you don't lead men or even I would say goats, right? Navy
Right.
chiefs. My mess is going to be a little bit more rough and tumble. I'm not a politician. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to become a politician. I'm coming here to be a freaking functioning Chiefs mess that makes sure our ship meets every mission. No redos, right? No redos. That was our mission. And then we did it our way, right? And so I would have deliberate conversations, bro. I would air it out. I'd air it out. Let's go. Let's throw down and not have a problem to have tough conversations. And I think too many
True.
people, real, if we're talking about just men in general, in my
Mhm.
opinion, strong men, not sissies, bro, right? Not sissies, but strong men, they
Mhm.
resonate with people that are not afraid of conflict,
That's true.
right? I feel bad for people that have a hard time dealing with conflict.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to name call people, but unfortunately, when I see a man that is afraid to have a tough conversation, I don't want to grow up to be like you someday, bro. That's
Easy
it.
day. Straight
That's
up.
it, right?
Straight
And
up.
that's it, right? And for me, I'm not saying you got to just run around and like just be cussing at everybody or whatever it is. I'm just saying that People that have authentic conversations and not afraid to have those tough conversations are the people that I respect, because I would much rather know that your knife is open than you talking
Right.
about me behind my back, lying on my name, right?
True.
Because I don't like those people. I am more than welcome to hear the criticism, to hear the feedback, and that doesn't really have a gender. But I will tell you, there is a renaissance happening, I believe, in the United States of America, where there are men looking for other men to follow, right? And I say that from the perspective as a person who mentors both young men and women,
Hmm.
right? I say that as a father of 2 sons, right? I say that as a person who's led adults my entire life, and I know that there is a sense of people out there looking for leadership and how do I lead my family? How do I worship my Lord and Savior? How do
Right.
I operate in my community and not be looked at as aggressive, but also be assertive? And look, women have a similar challenge, but a different approach, right? And I love my chick chiefs because there was some amazing female leadership that I've had out there in my career that I've served with and that I worked with, but my strategy for how we communicated was almost always different, right?
Hmm.
So I would say number one for the men, because you asked about the guys. Number one, I set the standard and I lived it. Number two, I held them to the standard, the same one that I held myself to, and I did not hesitate to call out the bullshit, right? Did
Okay.
not hesitate. And then number three, I did my very best to talk to them when they were struggling, right?
So,
And to try to understand what's going on.
so whenever you're dealing with the now, I love that because I believe everything you're saying, and I absolutely operate in that manner, right? I just had a CDB today where I told the sailor, listen, know you're getting out, but he's in the midst of he don't know whether he's getting out. If he gets orders to, you know how those sailors, if they get orders to where they want to go, they'll stay in, but if they don't, they'll get out, right? So I said,
Mhm,
okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a plan for both sides for 15 months. 15 months out, we're going to build a plan. We're going to make sure you're ready to go. But, he's a good sailor. He's a good leader. And when we were at our worst, he was our LPO and look, he took he put the team on his back and he shrugged through the mud with all of us. So I said,
mhm,
yeah, but you're one of them sailors that's not going to do anything until we tell you to do something. You're not the ones that stand out and with your chest out and actually go put effort in unless someone says, hey, can you do it? Which is, if you stay in, you can't be that all the time. You got to
mhm.
look beyond that. You got to be able to
Yeah.
read beyond that. And I just kept it 100. He was like, man, I really appreciate you, senior. Thank you for just, I was like, yeah, you're a bum. Get out of here. So we all, it was all love, but I do believe in keeping it real. And he took the criticism really well. Now let's switch that into coaching civilians. Is that the same? Is it the same type of like if I want to go into coaching a civilian, is that the same type of mindset you got to have because you can't put your foot on their neck, can you? Or you know what I'm saying? Like I
That's
can't go like in the Chiefs mess.
uh,
I can be like, all right, Sam, you jacking this up, bro. Like, come
truth
on,
be
man.
hey, truth be told, I do think that's part of what they like about us is that we're going to be authentically direct, right?
Ah, okay.
Now, you know what's funny is something about me is when I transitioned from the Navy, I pretty much quit swearing, right? I pretty much
Hmm.
using curse words. When I was in the Navy, I cursed like like I was the epitome of that dude, right? So
Hmm.
I just and it wasn't like I purposefully changed my vocabulary. I didn't purposely say I'm no longer gonna curse. I just kind of stopped. I'm not sure why. Something about me changed, and sometimes when I get on phone calls with like brothers from the military, whatever it was, I'll slip back into that old mode. Uh, but what I've learned is, and maybe this is just through maturity or through my education or whatever, is that
Right.
what the corporate people appreciate is our authenticity. Now, the one thing you got to remember is it's a difference between them looking for coaching or advice about their personal life and them looking for advice when it comes to their work environment and the corporate structure.
Okay.
Because I will tell you, the lawyers are in the civilian world just like the JAGs are in the Navy, right? And so you got to have a piece of that awareness, right? Um,
Can
but
you
that's why you
explain
got
that a
to
little
be,
bit further? Can you
yeah,
explain that
you
a
got
little
to
bit
be
further for me?
cautious that you're not a lawyer. So you just got to
Right.
make sure that any advice you give them, they understand is not legal advice, right? And
Okay,
that
okay,
you're
okay,
looking,
okay.
this is your opinion as to ways you can manage certain things. And I would tend to focus on helping them work on their holistic self. How can they wake up? Because most people struggle in the number one leadership role, and that is leading themselves, right? Leading themselves. So that's usually what I tend to focus on. Or if I'm working with an organization and I analyze their organization, I use my ATG template where I would do my evaluation and I would
Mhm.
follow along. Like, here's what I found. Here's my
Oh, we got so
recommendation.
many skills from the military, bro. Oh
Mhm.
my goodness.
Yeah, for sure. But then what I do is I find those soft spots and I say, all
Mhm.
right, CEO, right? Here's what I could do for you. As I went through all of your data, as I looked at all of your surveys, as I checked through all the things that you had to show me for turnover, I've recognized that we need to do some focus groups. We need to talk to a few people. And then what I can do for you is one-on-one help these people more holistically become happy with why they're a part of your organization, as well as backfilling you with the information of what they're looking for so they want to continuously stay employed with you, because that's the problem people are having. And again, you got two different perspectives there. One
Mhm.
is you meeting that the worker person, that team member where they're
Okay.
at, and then you also serving the larger level corporation that's looking to get past the bumps and the bruises and retain talent, right?
Oh,
Because
okay.
it is a huge talent fight out here in the workplace, people trying to keep people. And the devil that you know is better than the devil
Then
that
the
you don't
devil
know.
that you don't. Right.
Right. And so people that just think they're going to quit the job is not always a good thing. And bosses that are just going to fire people is not really the thing. So people like you and I can come in and help them, but not do it like a buster ass EEO, equal
Right.
opportunity motherfucker,
Right.
right? Because them dudes are shady because they got no dog in the fight. My position is this: in this posture, I work for the CEO to help give him a snapshot of his organization, and hopefully this CEO wants his team to have the best quality of life and or understanding as to what the expectations are. And what
So
I
you're
have
the equal
found,
opportunity officer for a company,
no,
basically?
this is just what I offer. This is just what I
Okay,
offer
okay, okay,
because
okay.
because sometimes these smaller organizations don't have their own people, right? And
That
again,
makes sense.
I'm not filling your HR role though, right? They all got human resources that does their human resource things, but they don't got the skills that I have, right?
Mm.
They can't get the people to open up like I can. I can get the people to say what's real. I can get the people to let me know why Johnny quit and why Sally Bob is a freaking problem.
Oh yeah,
And
they gonna
you
tell.
know what I'm saying? They're gonna tell. And then you take that information and best help them understand what they can do to fix it, right? And then when it
Mhm.
comes to the people that I talk to or that want to set up the conversations, honestly, a lot of it's about hearing where they're coming from and not judging them against our own personal standard, right? Because that's not always going to be relevant or fair. But on the
Right.
reverse, it's letting them know that your personal opinion, boom, 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 right? Boom, boom, boom. And if they like the sound of that, the conversation may continue, right? Um, I don't know if you've ever done therapy before, but I have, right? And I will
Mhm.
tell you that I only could do therapy for so long before I got tired of getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over again, right? So you got to not make it be that, right?
Right.
Um, the other thing is developing them so they can continuously improve and typically leading the next level. So first level is yourself, next level
Mhm.
is your family, right? And however you categorize that language, is it your wife? Is it your girlfriend? Is it your kids? Is it your brothers and sisters? Is it your parents? Whatever that is. And then beyond those two categories, now we talk about your life in the workplace. And again, holistically, we're trying to identify why you're not waking up ecstatic every day to be alive, right? Because God gave you another day on this earth,
Right.
right? Like, period. And I had this conversation today with my students, bro. Like, literally today in class, I was teaching them about John Maxwell's laws of leadership and
Mhm.
then analyzing them and applying to them my perspectives on these different laws of leadership. Last week, I was teaching them about the law of attraction and the right, like giving them philosophies that are out there in the world that might be applicable to them when they grow, mature, and move out on their own, right?
Right.
Because all these are philosophies. They're all kind of
Mhm.
taking you to the same space. It's just
Right.
which one resonates with you that you can put in your toolbox and then start to use to find success, right?
So you mentioned earlier about a person that you worked from the inside, then you work on their family, then you work. If you're noticing someone that lack consistency, right? Do you start from accountability system or do you start with identifying a reconstruction? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you saying that this is the reason why he's not consistent is because it's a like accountability system for himself, or do you start working for that, or do you work on like, okay, I he need a reconstruction of his own identity. That's why he's not consistent with who, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. I do. And I would tell you, uh, I think accountability systems like apps, right? I think those are just replacements for a notebook that are not really what's required, right?
bro,
My
bro,
personal
check this
opinion.
out. Hold on 1 second. So this is my calendar, and on my
Uh,
calendar, I write down all the things I spend throughout
I
the week.
understand,
I don't need an
but
app for that. This is
I
this
get
is
it.
my accountability.
And you are unique, right? Because you already have that hardwired in you to
Hmm.
do that because of whatever you went through in your life to bring that to you. So to answer your question, ain't no app in the world going to save them. They need to identify why they need to commit to whatever the thing is,
Got it.
right? And when they make that commitment, they have got to own it 1,000%. And what's that one saying we all use in the Navy, right? Uh, sustained superior performance, right? A
Hmm. Hmm.
sustained superior performer. Guys like me, I don't make chief in 9, senior chief in 12, master chief in 16, and CMC in 18 years because of an app,
Right.
right? Right? Like
Right.
guys like you that make chief, senior chief, quick is not because of a particular app or of an accountability device. It was
True.
because you consistently put the work in
Perform. Hmm.
because you had something that was inside you that got you so fired up, you had to continue to do it. And for
Absolutely.
me, I try to help people find what inspires them, not what motivates them, because motivation is fickle and it runs out and it will exhaust yourselves, right? But if you can identify what inspires you, what is your muse, like Greek mythology, like your muse, right? My muse, this is my art, right? People are my
Hmm.
art. I don't draw pictures, I don't paint portraits, I don't sing songs. I work with people, right? And I inspire them to want to go find their own inspiration
That's
so they
dope.
can then leverage that inspiration to find success in their life based upon what they're looking for in the near term future. And then
Hmm.
once you build momentum, come up with a strategy to put that together for the next, like you said, 15 months. I'm a 3-year kind of guy, but put together a strategy for you to take action on. And ultimately, either you're going to do it or you're not. Right.
Right.
And if you keep coming back to me, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, I have straight told people I'm done talking to you, bro, because you're not going to waste my time. My time is valuable. And just like in the Navy, right? I'm not going to sit here keep giving advice to you when you don't do anything I recommend you do.
Right. Right.
right? The money is not worth it to me. I don't do any of it for the money. My money is
That's
good,
interesting. Because
right?
most people that deal with coaching, they would want somebody to come back to them, and they would want to continue with this customer, if you will,
Yeah,
to continue with the process. Why wouldn't you want? I know you said the money doesn't mean, but do you not count it as seed planting? You know what I'm talking about?
brother. I'm not here to be a therapist, right? And
Okay, I got you.
ultimately, my opinion is if it takes me 3 years to finally get you on track, I must not be doing a damn good job, right? I could fix whole commands in a year.
Yeah, that's a fact. No, no, no,
That's
no.
a
That's a
fact.
fact. That's a
That's a
fact.
fact, right? So if I
Hmm.
can't get you on track in 2 or 3 conversations in a year time, you and I are not built for each other because I don't window shop, right? When I talk
Okay.
about things, I'm dead serious and my expectation is so are you. And if you're not, at some point I'm gonna cut bait. And I've had people be like, "Well, what can we talk about it later?" Look, bro, I don't need friends. I'm
Right.
busy. I got
Right.
a wife, I got 2 kids, right? I'm not hiring friends. I I am willing to talk with you because you reached out to me because you
Hmm.
think there's some stuff that I can help you with, and I'm more than happy to have these conversations. But just like you got came in here today, I expect you to come prepared,
Hmm.
right? Same rules I had in the Navy, right? When I was a
Right.
mentor. My
Right.
mentorship rules were very simple. Come prepared, and you don't get to tell me no. Right? Because if you're gonna tell me no, now you think we're friends and we're gonna debate or argue. And
That's
I don't
true.
got time for all that. I don't got time for all that. Right? My results in my life. Now, when I'm working with the kids at school, different thing because they're children,
Hmm.
right? And they're not paying me $300, $400 an hour to have this conversation,
Right.
right? That's the other thing, right? When you get to the point where you finally feel comfortable, I will tell you the more you charge, the more valuable the time is going to be. Right. And my
Mm.
dollar number is a low ticket offer, bro. That's low dollars. You got people out there like freaking Myron Golden or whatever his name is, charging people like $1 million for a year. Right. Like, but of course he's
Jeez.
worth it. But he's worth
Right.
it. Right. Like the value he brings to them 10x is their return. I'm typically a guy, my primary customer is a middle 30-year-old, so far about a 30-year-old man
Hmm.
looking for advice,
Okay.
right? And truthfully, people come to me through word of mouth or somebody recommends they talk to me. And for the most part, I'll do a 30-minute conversation with them and I'll give them enough in that 30 minutes and I'll never talk to them again. But ultimately, I'm not tripping because
Right.
I'm still building this thing,
Hmm.
right? And but I have had people that want to continue to have these 30-minute conversations because they're not ready to commit. And oh, by the way, their situation ain't improving.
Mm.
I'm not here to be your fitness coach. I'm not gonna go work out with you in the gym, right? Like that's not my role, right? I'm not your marriage counselor. That's something
Right.
you and your person have got to figure out, and I highly recommend people do it, right? But for the things that we talk about, if I give you some action items or I give you some recommendations, if you
Hmm.
come back to me and you have not done anything and you got no feedback from that last conversation we had, what we talk about, bro?
Yeah. What we even talking about? Yeah.
Like, what we talk about?
What we
What
talking
we
about?
talk about? And there you
So.
go. And unfortunately, what I found is a lot of people in that space do that. And that's their problem, right? They've been struggling with taking action and they have not been exposed to a structure like what we grew up in, where
Hmm.
you had
Hmm.
to be at work on time
Right.
or there was an
Right.
immediate consequence. You had
Right.
to listen to what this leader was telling you, or there was an immediate consequence. And so now
Absolutely.
here they are in their 30s asking themselves, why am I not the person I thought I was going to be at this age? And there's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. And the
Mm.
one answer they don't want to hear is because you failed to take it serious,
There you go.
right? And now if you want to, because now I'm not meeting the person I want to meet. I don't have the relationship I want to have. I'm not happy with the place I'm spending most of my waking hours because your job, most of
Hmm.
us spend more time at our job than we spend at our homes,
Right.
right? Well, when you tell me all these things, then I want you to get extreme. I want you to burn some boats. Let's freaking go
Let's do
after
it.
it because I feel like there is a limited amount of time to turn this around, right? And not always are they willing to do that because they don't have that daily supervision. But oh, by
Hmm.
the way, I'm also not running fat camp, right? I'm not, I got kids I got to take care of every day
Yeah.
and that I got to hold accountable. I've got my own family. And there's the challenge in this space, right?
Right.
Um, just being honest with you.
But you got
And
people that are doing it full time, working the system, constantly promoting themselves, constantly being there, and being people's fat coach, marriage counselor, blah blah blah. But with you, if you have, so you're saying create standards, create standards for yourself and boundaries for yourself in the space, especially if you're working a 9 to 5 to ensure that you're protecting
yeah,
your peace. Because
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
at the end of
not,
the day, the
yeah,
Navy does something. It has definitely shortened our patience. I can tell you,
yeah.
the higher you get
Well,
up in rank,
it's not even about that. It's like, for me, people that are again the people that I really look forward to serving in the future are not going to be these passive trying to figure things. I want these people that are already somewhat successful and are trying to
right?
figure out how can I get these 10 people to do better, right?
Hmm.
They've already got the position, they've already got the education, they've already got their fitness in check, they've already got their family going on. But I'm struggling and getting the message across to these 10, 15 people. Ultimately, that's my target, right?
Okay.
But who I
Okay.
typically get exposure to are these people that are struggling getting off the couch,
Mm.
right? And not for nothing, I'm gonna tell them exactly what I think they should hear. And but they could also watch all my YouTube videos and hear the same damn thing, right? And what I've learned from those people is they need something significant to happen in their life to really
Then
cause them to make
flip
a
it.
move.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
something's
right.
got to happen in their life. They got to get beat up. Like
Right.
something's got to happen,
Some.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But where I really would like to go someday, because the other thing for me is I care a lot about the parents of teenagers,
Hmm.
right? I believe one of the hardest things in the world is parenting a teenager, right? Especially in 2026. And
Yeah.
I am a dad of an 18-year-old and I have an 11-year-old. I
Hmm.
work with 14 to 18-year-olds all day long. And
Yep.
it is hard to get these kids to want to get off the cell phone, to get focused on their schoolwork, to get good grades, to want to actually make a plan for life after high school, to
Right.
actually want to make a strategic plan for their early adolescence years, to
Hmm.
to to launch out of the house effectively. And so what I'm able to do for a lot of the parents of my students is to help them, partner with them by taking care of these kids and hopefully working together and
Hmm.
helping prepare these young ones to launch. I definitely see myself in the future continuing to support parents of children that are becoming teenagers. And how do you handle some of these kids? Because some of these kids are the high performing kids are just like managing you or me, right? They got tons of schoolwork, they got tons of stress and pressure, and they're doing 15 different things. On the
Hmm.
reverse, you got the other kids that are freaking maybe problematic, maybe a little more troublesome with the wrong crowd. And then you got
Hmm.
the other kids that ain't really doing much of nothing and not off
It
the couch
just
yet.
sit
How
back.
can we? And so there, that's an and as I tell you, as you're looking for your customer, because that's the other thing, right? In my opinion, you need to have an idea of who you would like to work with, right?
Hmm.
And right now, I'll be honest with you. I kind of work with anybody that's time slot fits with my time slot because I'm learning
Okay.
still, right?
Right.
I'm learning. I'm still doing market analysis, right?
Hmm.
I'm still continuing to connect with people, but again, you're calling me now. I'm not going out looking for you. I'm
Okay.
broadcasting via Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, my information. I got a website to collect
Mhm.
people that want to come find me, and I am accessible. But here's what's dope, bro. I could talk to a dude in Kansas and I could talk to a dude in Alaska.
Right.
I might mess around and have somebody from Brazil on here pretty soon.
You stupid.
Right? Like, what? Because you could go worldwide, bro. Like,
Right.
this
Is you're
technology
not
is,
because of the internet, because you're pushed out to everyone. Like
yep.
everybody is, yeah.
That's why I wrote the book last year, right? I published the book because I wanted to not only give my students access to information that I thought would help them and remind them of the stuff we talked about during the high school time, but I also wanted to provide something for like parents or anybody else that was looking for information. And it's just a little thing, nothing crazy, just to give them a taste. And you can pick it up on Amazon. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you
Like it
go.
ain't,
There you go.
you can
What
pick
is
it
it
up on
called again?
Amazon.
What is it called, big
Own
dog?
your own your journey,
Own your journey,
your
y'all.
journey.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get that.
yeah. Gary
Hey,
O. Wise,
Gary
own
Leo,
your
yeah,
journey.
yeah.
Yeah,
Go get that. You hear me?
yeah. And it's simple, right? And it's just something to put the message out there, right? And and you know the thing, like you said earlier, bro, you were attracted to it. Who knows where the road's gonna take you?
Right.
Right? Like I started down this path with that leadership certification business. I had to break with them, dog, because they thought they must have thought I worked for them or something. Like they just didn't know who they were playing with, right? And what I learned was the real value to the whole thing was my years of experience, my years
Mhm,
of training, my
mhm.
years of what I'm bringing to the conversation with these people.
Right.
Because really, don't nobody give a damn about no certification if all you had to do was do an online course and talk to
Right.
somebody, right?
Right.
Like these credentials are out of the box. Now I've got my master's degree or whatever, but I mean, ultimately,
Mhm,
no one cares if what I thought was, you know what, I'm gonna put out so much real content that it's
mhm.
undeniable the game that I'm telling people, right? I mean, how many times have you had conversations with someone like that was a dope conversation,
Yeah, man. A
right?
few times. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, one of my favorite conversations with you was that one time you got so mad at me in the Chiefs mess. You was about ready to charge at me about some. I forget what it was about, but you was so angry at me. And I was like, Ronnie, get up to my office right now. And you were like, let's go. Fucking ran out the door. And I get up to my office and you're like pacing. And I walk in, I was like, bro, you need to calm down. And you're like, what?
Yeah, man.
A and we had a real conversation. Like,
Yeah.
we
Mhm,
sat down and we talked it out, but I had
mhm.
to the only way I could get you to leave the Chiefs mess to go up to my office was to give you that energy that because it was like, "All right, we're gonna have a confrontation," and you was ready for it. But then I had to de-escalate it, right? And be like, "Bro, what's going on? Like, what's going?" Because that was the other thing not everybody understood about me is I could go from being loud to just
Right.
right? Because it wasn't personal. It's not personal. And people, I think, often mistake energetic leaders for people that are always being emotional, right?
I agree with that. I agree with that. I've had to deal with that. In fact, in my years being in, I've actually had to calm down a lot more because I'm already 6'2". I'm black. I'm pretty, you know what I'm saying? Like
Covered in
I'm
tattoos.
over, yeah, covered in tattoos. They're looking at me like, is he going to kill me? And all I'm excited about PT. You know, like this, I gotta make sure that I calm it down and actually talk to them naturally and be more Hey, good morning. How are you doing? You doing okay? But at the same time, I'm still hey, you're out of regulations. Make sure your hair is, and those are the things that you find out over the years dealing with other people and operating with people to see I'm not intimidating. You can always come and
Yeah.
talk to me. And the
Yeah.
thing whenever I respected about you was you could control the room. You ain't. I don't want people out there to think that Gary Leo is the shortest man I've ever met. Not very tall, right?
I'm not very
And
tall.
but 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 that had nothing. Whenever he stepped in the room, he was 6 foot, 7 foot tall because his energy. positive energy gave character to who he was. And his after he left, whenever you saw him on the deck plates, he was the same dude from upstairs, downstairs, below decks, on the bridge, everywhere he was that dude. And that's why I really come here and try to get this mentorship from him, because from you, because this is what I and you answered literally all my questions that I had as you were going through your soliloquy. You was rocking, you was talking, because I was going to ask you about certs, I was going to ask you about degrees, I was going to ask you about all that, because
Yeah.
I do think education matters.
Mhm.
Think along with your experience, I think having education matters. think I think reading. I finished the book Man's Search for Meaning. I
Mhm.
thought that was a really dope book. The why, figuring out the why and what you're doing, what you were talking about. What's the purpose? I have several other books I've been reading. What is the other than leveraging your career, your reading and education? Is there any other thing that might be needing in order to push who I am and what I need to do for this? I'm planning as well. Is there anything else that you would recommend me doing with myself as I prepare for this hustle, or I won't say hustle, but this
It
career
is. It's a
move that I'm
hustle.
yeah.
It's a hustle. I would say your works, right? Your works. What are you doing with your time that is value added? And how can that best be a reflection of what you bring to the people that are looking to possibly talk with you, right?
Okay.
Whether it's your role, like I don't over monopolize my children, right? Even though I talk about
Mhm.
being a dad of an 18-year-old and 11-year-old, I do manage social media for like my high school ROTC program, and I will connect those two because I'm very open and honest. And a lot of the people that listen to the program are connected to that ROTC program, right?
Okay.
And so I'm more than happy to let that be part of my works to
Mhm.
show people what I'm really doing day for day, pound for pound. Because just because somebody has a wealth of information in their brain, what are they really doing? Right. I mean, when it comes to getting people to give recommendations for you, right, and what you've done, like I remember when the person that did my website built the website and she was like, we could really use some people to give you some good reviews. I got like 40 reviews by the next day because I just threw the word out there and a bunch of people were like, hell yeah, we love Gary. Right. And so for
Mhm.
me, that became not as important because I feel like people can just generate that. And I like the video idea. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that was dope.
Mhm.
I,
Don't be
part
trying to
of the other
snatch my
reason,
I'm joking.
no, 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 no. I think, hey, bro, I think it's amazing.
No, it's
The
all good.
other reason why I started the business was because, truth be told, I was making so much money in my retirement that I needed some write-offs because taxes were killing me.
It's
Right
crazy to say. Did y'all hear that out there? My man said I was
it's
making so much money I need write-offs. Hey man, send some money over here, big dog. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
just telling you, bro. Like it's from coming from active duty
Mhm.
to this new phase of life, it just changes your financial your financial game, right? And so by starting the business, I was then able to add like this room in my house is my podcast studio,
Right.
right? So I'm able to then factor into my bills the money it costs for me to pay utilities for this bedroom, for electric, for gas, for water, for my home office, right?
Right.
Those things are all contributing to that. Plus everything I invest into all this, I'm able to then dollars and cents write it
Right.
off to lower my taxable
Absolutely.
income, right? So that was a big part of the whole thing. I would say uh, I would definitely start a business,
Mhm.
right? In order to have some ways to make sure you can recoup some of your investment into whatever it is you're going to do, right? I would say get a mentor, me, yes, but I would also get a mentor of somebody else in the market that you're looking to be operational in, right? And like for me, I market myself for my local Ocala area, because this is my
Mhm.
community and I love it, but then I'm also worldwide using technology, right?
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
I'm open to either or, right? But most of my public speaking gigs or have either been local or it's going to be a part of the ask, right? So for my friend who wants me to go speak at his corporate function next year, part of the ask will be airfare, lodging, boom, 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 right? And that's part of the ask, but it's also probably going to be nowhere near what some of these people get paid to go fly somewhere to speak, right? Um, because that I'm going to do it off of the strength also of my relationship with my friend and because
Right.
of the experience it brings or whatever it is. But I
Mhm.
would say I would start a business so that you can have I invested some money in my logo, right? Because I wanted a logo that represented uh for me, it was the owl. It was the 2 stars of being a master chief. It was the shield because I like the idea of being like a defender,
Mhm.
right? And if you look at the Knights Battalion, my logo, I made the logo for my JROTC unit as well. And that has a knight on it. And so the shield
Mhm.
on my Knightwise Leadership Solutions logo is a connection to my Knights Battalion logo because they equally matter to me, right? And then the
Mhm.
words from the wise, I just created something very simple because I wasn't quite sure where this is going to go. Right.
Mhm.
But I would say definitely branding, spend some money, get a logo, get something that represents you. Uh, when it comes to what I like about education, right, is uh, it gives you experience to tell people you can finish the things that you start, right? When
Agree.
so when it comes to like my masters or my bachelors or whatever it is, and there is a level of credibility to the piece of education, especially when you're working with educated people.
Mhm.
That said, some of the credentials that are out there, I'm just not a fan of them. But it never hurts you to get something. Just depends
Yeah.
upon. I wouldn't keep recertifying them every few
Mhm.
years, right? I would get them I'd use Navy Cool. I'd get the certification because you're not paying for it, even though they're not really going to bring a lot of value to you once you transition. And then you can determine later if they're really worth you keeping or not. But I'm
Right.
gonna tell you what's gonna bring people to you eventually, and this is what I believe is gonna happen for me or is happening for me. It's just based off my style, based off my energy, based off my years of experience. And oh, by the way, that when they come out of the conversation, they're just like, that dude, that gave me some stuff to think about, man. And then
Mhm.
they've got it, it's all on them at that point, right? Like it's all on them. They got to figure it out. So,
I'm still here. You can hear me?
okay. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Your little
Yeah.
picture cut off again.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's it, man. And uh, I think I like how you caught that earlier about having boundaries for yourself that's going to protect you and keep you safe and sane. Like, if you don't mind my asking, what's the plan for the family and you when you retire?
Okay. So, what I'm looking at, there's 3 places that I plan on being. Here in Great Lakes, because there is a lot of opportunity for me. In fact, I got a job offer already within a year and a half out to teach at the command from a company that's running out here. That's run for, excuse me, running from Newport, Rhode Island. So they offer me a nice paying job. Like if I stay in this community, like they would love for me to be a civilian instructor at the schoolhouse. I was like, oh, sounds really good.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, Virginia is a place that I would love to be at. I just love Virginia. I
Hmm.
just love Virginia and Texas. Texas would is my third selection that I would love to be at, and that's where I would want to settle with my family. So
Is your
those three
family with you
spots.
right now, or are they back in
No, no,
Japan?
no. I'm geo batch right now still. Um,
Okay.
they they will come at the end of my term
Okay.
here. Hmm.
Um, Bro, I love the idea of you getting to continue teaching quartermaster stuff. in the classroom, because I think what matters more than you getting a good paying job is you doing something that's going to fill your cup so much that you then
Right.
have the energy to be happy to be a husband and dad, because it changes when everyone's on station together, right? That your all that free time you got right now will not be the same. And so you're going to need that energy, and then also to have enough energy to then feed into your business that you're going to
Right.
start to build. And I will tell you, another thing for me is I like to record things so I can put things out on a schedule, but not have to always be doing it all live. Right.
Got it. That makes sense.
So,
Hmm.
like right now, we're recording, right?
Hmm.
And so I'll put this out at some point in the future, or I won't, right? Just depends
Right.
upon how it goes.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
yeah, and it gives me freedom to then not have to do it on the weekends or whatever it is. So,
That makes so much sense. Yeah. Well, hey, look, man, you I don't know how you be doing this, but you be answering all my questions. Like I'm like looking at my question sheet that I want to ask you and being like, oh, he already took that out. He already did that. He already answered that. And I really came in to not really learn how to be a coach, but see basically if I was heading in the right direction based on how you've been operating and what you see. And what I've been hearing mostly is, dude, you already got so much leverage as a leader in the military. Use that along with your networks, be a part of the community, and then inspire through video and things like that in order to brand yourself better. Walk the walk, talk the talk, be the be the person that you are preaching to these individuals, or you're trying to push them to be better. And that's where I'm at, and that's what I appreciate. Appreciate these conversations. Iron sharpening iron. Definitely know I've been dull a little bit, so I do appreciate the conversation that we had, man. And, go buy the book, everyone. Please go buy the book. Go support him. He's an amazing man. Everything he says, he talks about, he is that person. I just want to, if I could do anything to push your brand, I will. He is a good dude. He's a good man, a good husband, and I appreciate him so much. Thank you so much, Gary.
hey man, I thank you for all those kind words, bro, and I love you, man.
Love you
And
too, brother.
I'm looking forward to knowing you for the rest of our lives, right? And I
Yes,
look I
sir.
look forward to having a conversation in the future, hearing about how you're doing, and getting the update on how retirement planning is going. And just don't be a stranger, man. Stay in touch, bro. And
Oh,
thank you
I've
for
been
reaching
staying in
out.
touch with you.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? And every time I see you, you got your hair growing more. You got your skin looking better.
And that's
That boy look good, man.
yeah, man. I didn't want to be a grandpa with a bald head. And that was ultimately why I grew my hair out, man. Because I had not had hair, bro, ever. Not since like 1999.
That's a long time for you sailors out there that just was being born.
Yeah. Like I just started cutting my own hair to save money and I never grew it out. So I was very thankful. I wasn't even sure what color it was gonna be. But man, Ronnie, hey, I appreciate you, bro. Keep your
Thank you,
head up. If
man.
you ever need anything, I'm just a message away, man. And
Absolutely, man.
we'll do this. All right, y'all. If y'all enjoyed this conversation, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, follow. Check us out on all the places you can find podcasts. Once Ronnie gets full up around, I'll make sure I share his stuff with the world, and
Let's
we
do
will
it.
make this world a better place, baby.
Absolutely, man. God bless everybody, man. God bless you,
God
Gary.
bless them all. All right, brother. God bless you too, man. I'll holler at you later, bro.
Bro, take care.
And I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. Don't care for the critics, my words are like physics, a force that they can't stop. They just don't get it, I think they forget I'm not done till I'm on top. I know I was born for this. I know